in another one, this had a lot of trouble learning to eat. This one is called inqui. Say that after me. Inqui.
Inqui.
Inqui. Okay. Inqui. Inqui is a dish. I think it ought to heal anything and cure anything because it's made with 12 spices and it has a kind of I don't like to say slimy, but a pulling type draw like you have okra. But there's a special way.
In that state of mind where this pandemic has caused so much of havoc, so much of negativity floating around all across, we have been very stressful. We have been seeing our relatives, kids, and every friends around us either suffering from the COVID virus or either they are losing lives. Why did I actually choose a topic to really reiterate the fact that what exactly causes this stress in our lives? Probably the next 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes might not be that jovial and people may not laugh, people may not, but this is something which you can take away and think upon that exactly if whatever I'm saying makes sense and what can we do in our own lives to make it more better. This is a very sensitive topic, stress management. So let me break it down. And why did I choose this topic is because I have personally gone through this process of stress management. And with that process, how I have been able to come out with different areas where I could relieve my own life from the different stresses that I encounter. And what are the things probably I can manage, I can do in order to make my life a little better from what it is today. And that is exactly what stress management is going to be all about. So when we talk about stress management, what we need to understand better is two important things: that what are the kind of stresses that we have. It could be personal stress, it could be professional stress. So when we talk about the aspects of personal and professional stress, it can be at work, it can be at your home, it can be at different parties or social gatherings, or rather, let me quote, it can be anywhere and everywhere. Stress is something that we live with. And the sooner the better we accept that fact that that is a part of our lives, the better it is for us. You cannot run away from it. You cannot avoid it. All you can do is reduce the intent of it. And that is what I realized very late in my life. People who are young, or people even who are in the mid 30s, 40s, or even at the old age, right across hearing me out, understand one thing. Stress is something which you cannot avoid. You cannot really run away from it. Live with it, but in a positive way. And that is exactly what you can do. Stress is something that you can encounter at every moment and every point of your life. Now, what is stress management? Stress is something that you can understand that these are psychological problems, which can be stressful, the different tensions that you might have. But then, what is stress management? Stress management are the different techniques or the psychotherapies which we can imbibe in order to remove the intent of stress that we are having in my life, controlling the level of stress. What you can do, a very apt example which I would like to give here is art. Engage yourself. Toastmaster Ayushi did say that she does love Googling, doodling. No, my bad. But then if you love doodling, go for it. Live your passion. If you ask me what exactly I chose to reduce the level of stress that I have in me, I chose to travel. I chose to become a photographer. Well, today, if you ask me that, Abhijit, if you can click photographs of a landscape or something which will probably be attracted by so many people. I might like to take a step back and say, probably I might not be the best, but let me tell you, if somebody approaches me, I will certainly give it a try. Why? Because I'm trying to live my passion. Just taking few years from today back to the history of 2013 and 14, I will give you a small instance, and this is from my own personal life. My wife is here, right in the home, and she knows about the truth. 2014, I broke up with my ex, and then I was so much into stress, so much like when the world has completely got ended for me. But then I tried to keep myself positive. I tried to keep myself engaged into different activities. Things which meant to happen will happen. And that is what happened in my life as well. My wife stepped in as a blessing. My life became much better. Why am I saying this? Is because she is one example which I'm giving. She is one individual, one person who just made the difference. This is from my personal life. Every one of you will have some instance in your own personal lives, or even at work or professional lives, where you will realize the very fact that things might not be the same for you as you expect. Things might not be easy. Things which you probably will have in your checklist or to-do list to have a tick box once you're done may not work as per your requirement and as per your wish. So what do? Do you get stressful? What do you gain out of it? Simply nothing. 2 years, I have been into a corporate setup wherein I did not expect any promotion, any increment, any recognition. Yes, I am stressful. But what value addition does it give me? If I'm stressful, if I'm putting all the burden on my head, is my family happy? Am I happy? Is my increment happening? Is my promotion happening? No. It will happen. Everything will fall in place when it is meant to be. So trust your own efforts. That is what is all about. When the moment you do so, you can be happy. And in stress management, we learn a lot about being happy. Read books. If you are an ardent reader, or if you want to inculcate the knowledge about your own vision in life, purpose in life, why you are here, what you want to do. You want to be a public speaker. You are here in Toastmasters. If you want to be a leader, probably take up leadership in Toastmasters or do well in your own organization. I chose to be a traveler and a photographer. Sometimes when I look at the greenery around, I feel that the best thing that I can do is gardening. I do gardening a lot. That's not my passion, but that's my hobby. That keeps me engaged. So most important thing is keep yourself engaged. Look for things, identify those areas which will make you happy. As I would repeat once again, stress is something which you cannot eradicate. You cannot completely remove from your own life. All you can do is reduce the content of the intensity of stress that you will be building upon on yourself. If this message goes straight,
put forward your point, let them understand. If they are not understanding, talk to them, convey your message again. If they just don't want to understand it, they won't. But yeah, if you are just say twice or thrice saying the same thing, then they might understand. If it's a normal thing, like not the very big fight thing and all. Otherwise, we don't even try to make your girl understand your point of view, boys, because we don't understand those things. We have our points in our head and we want to think that we are correct.
Overthinking mind.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Patricia.
Thank you so much.
Patricia is
Nice to
underwater.
see you, Patricia.
Underwater. Yes. Patricia.
I love your glasses. I mean, it's like you're in the space, Patricia.
I've been Zoom breakout room shorting, globe shorting,
Oh,
and I'm
Yes.
excited to be in your room.
But you are lucky you are
oh,
not
you're
going.
welcome.
You are lucky you are not going to the breakup room, huh? Not breakout.
Sorry, I hope
Okay.
I didn't interrupt anybody. Sorry.
No, no.
Lada is looking for someone. Lada
That
is full
brings
in the
us.
mood.
Okay. That brings us to the end of this session. But before we leave, I would like Jessica to take us through another cheeky boom boom session for just 2 minutes. Is she around?
No,
We
she
need
is not
another.
ready. Chiki boom boom.
Oh, I see. Okay, no problem. So at this juncture, I'd like to say a very big thank you to Jessica and Newton. You made our day on how to smile in this very wonderful breakout room. It's been fun all through. No seriousness. I didn't see anybody squeezing his face as if he wants to box another person. Thank you for your costumes. They've been amazing, innovative, and wonderful. I've learned something today. How to use filter to make yourself look a little bit different on your platform. Thank you, Lada, for teaching me that. Something to take home. Very wonderful. Thank you so much. Timer would like to take 5-minute break, and when we come back, my co-moderator will take over in taking us on permission to play, as well as leading with emotional intelligence. Peggy Kwam will be in charge of that session.
You can either be emotional or you can be intelligent. You cannot be both. Huh?
So our 5-minute break starts just about now. Omar, you are so funny. How did you learn this?
I did not learn this. I'm a very serious person, actually.
You're a very serious person and you are laughing like this. Well done. I could see some people very quiet.
After 5 minutes break, the drum can play for us some songs. You can take a bathroom break, get something to buy. And exactly the next 5 minutes.
Good to see you, Uma.
Yes, Patricia, you are in
Hope you're having fun.
I am having fun, and everybody's having fun and enjoying. They are awesome, amazing.
Good, good, good. So I'm sure I've missed a few as I went through the different rooms. We have our division director in the house, Papa, Etienne Papa Akes. Would you?
Yes,
I hope you're
Papa.
going to play us the Toastmasters song. Jerome, do you have that?
Getting it ready, Jerome, do you have it? Hi, Patricia. Hi, everybody.
Yes, yes. That is why I'm in the sing-along room now. Hey, Jerome, that is an abomination.
Jerome, you will buy a cow. You will buy a cow.
I am surprised.
It's the machine I'm using. That's why I'm not using my main laptop. That's why. Everything is on my main laptop. Awesome. Send it to me on WhatsApp.
Awesome. We'll have to record that before I zoom out into another room to see how they're doing.
You know, I am Pirates of Caribbean.
Yeah, yeah.
Captain Jack Sparrow. Yeah.
Captain Jack Sparrow. Oh, see, which one is that? Is it a tiger? Pando? That's nice. Oh,
Pando
yeah,
is a cheetah, lioness. Yeah. Awaken the beast within, huh?
Yeah, that is nice. Toastmaster Vikas, I hope you're enjoying yourself. Nuha
is enjoying jumping from one room to another also.
Oh, he probably, someone to experience every bit. Okay.
Every bit, yeah.
All right, break time over.
Break is...
Jerome is sent.
Peggy is in a school going mode. Huh?
Greetings, Toastmasters and guests from all over the world. My name is Peggy Obam. I'm live from Kenya. My Toastmasters club is Sema Toastmasters, and we are based in Nairobi, Kenya. One of the oldest club in Africa. Yeah, Sema has been around for almost 20 years now, since around 2018. So yeah, more than 10 years in Toastmasters. So for this session, I'd like to share with you, we have one speaker, Lada, and my role taker for this session is Lucy Faith. So I'd like to introduce Lucy Faith, who is our timer. She's the Vice President Education for a club known as Speaking Women Toastmasters. This is the only club that lets women speak. So men, you cannot even speak. You can just attend, if I'm not wrong, but you cannot even take up roles. So this is a club for just women only. She's a girl who enjoys having fun and just loves being around. So she's very delighted to be in this specific room. And she can't wait to sing for us her favorite song during the karaoke session. So our speaker will be delivering her speech for 15 minutes. I'd like to invite Lucy Faith to share with us, to briefly explain to us how she's going to share her timing cards and how they've agreed with the speaker. So Lucy Faith, please introduce your role.
Thank you, Peggy. Yes, I'm so glad to be here. As you have heard, I'm from Speaking Woman. Men, you can't also attend. You can't take up roles. You cannot appear in our meeting. It's basically women. Yes, but we're so glad to be here. I'm from Kenya as well. I am based in Mombasa, along the coast. Yes, and my role today as time is to make sure the meeting goes on really well. And so, Lada, we have not spoken, but I have chosen to do 13, 14, 15 for your speech. And then when we are done with the speech, then I go to timing them the Q&A. We do 3, 4, 5. And that is it. I'll show the red, the yellow, and the green according to those times, okay? So thank you. Back to you, Peggy.
Thank you very much, Lucy Faith. So our speaker, we only have one speaker this evening, and our speaker this evening is Lada Lesniak. I'm yet to know if I'm getting the pronunciation right, but she will tell us after this. She's a Toastmaster goddess in every sense of the word. We are yet to discover this. She's an award-winning journalist. She has traveled the world and covered many interesting stories and interviewed even many interesting people. I hope we can learn about this from her speech, or even just after the session to interact and get to know which countries. Have you been to Kenya? That is what I'm more interested to know. Have you been to Ghana? You know, India? So she has produced award-winning documentaries. We hope by the end of this session, she will share some of these documentaries so that you can all go and watch. She even got a division category of the best international speech contestant in the year 2018. She has also created and facilitated crowd favorite educational workshop in her Toastmasters journey, titled Play Your Way to Confidence at District 46. And she did this in person, live at the Toastmasters conference in New York in 2019. What she likes about her experience is that the feedback that she has received from doing all this, and this is something that encourages her to do more. She has highlighted that some of the feedback she has received is that has made an impact for her is something simple like as this: thank you. One of the participants shared with her that, thank you for changing my life. And there's also another one who shared with her that we all walked in this room with separate fingerprints, but we walked out with one thumbprint. She's also, besides being a Toastmasters and a journalist, she's an athlete. She described herself as a podium triathlete, a word I've just learned about today. This means that every time she goes into marathon, she gets either the first, the second, or the third place for her age group, or an overall win. She has run the New York City Marathon 10 times and twice blindfolded. I don't know if I can run that much when I'm blindfolded. So besides that, she loves hoop dancing and yeah, and she just like anything that keeps her fun and challenges her, she goes for it. As you can see, she likes wearing a unicorn on her head for a year, and every time she walks out of her house. So this afternoon or evening or morning, wherever you're joining us from, Lady Lara, what she's going to share today is her personal life investigation and inspiration to understand the importance of play in our life. Her speech title is Permission to Play, Lady Lizniak. Over to you, Lady Lizniak.
Thank you, Peggy. Hello, my fellow Toast gods and goddesses. Let's cock-a-doodle-doo. You can unmute yourselves. Come on, I want to hear some cock-a-doodle-dooting. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Yes, there you go. Isn't this a great day? I'm so excited to be here at Toastmasters Want to Have Fun. Really, when I heard that this was happening, I was like, I have to be here. This is my keynote, because it's all about what today's about, and that's about happiness, fun, and play. So I have a question for all of you. When was the last time that any of you checked your permission to play switch? Do you know what I'm talking about? That permission to play switch somewhere inside of us that says, yeah, go ahead. Wear fun things like this on your head. Why not? Or if you're in the grocery store and you hear some really good music and you want to dance, then just dance, dance, dance. Or maybe you want to just jump up and down for joy. Go for it. All of this is your permission to play switch. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to see where all of your permission to play switches are right now, okay? So they could be either completely off, they could be kind of in the middle, or totally on. So off, middle, or on, okay? And how we're going to measure this is I'm going to give you a scenario. You're not going to do it, you're just going to react. You know that little nanosecond before you actually react? You don't really think? All right, so here's the scenario. You ready? Okay. I'm going to put on some fantastic music. I'm going to say, dance. What's your reaction? Are you like, oh, no way, Jose, I'm not dancing? Or is it like, well, you know what? If other people dance, then I'll dance. Or you're like, oh, I'm good. I have music in my head. I don't need any music. I'm dancing all the time. So you're either totally off, you're like, no way, Jose. Middle, be like, everyone else is dancing, I'll dance. Or you know what? I got that music in my head. So remember where you are, maybe somewhere in the middle, but remember where you are because I'm going to talk about it as we go on in my talk later on. Okay, so you're saying, Lada, is there really such a thing as a permission to play switch? Yes, I would say that there is, because I very distinctly remember when my permission to play switch was just turned off. I remember the distinct moment. I was in the car with my mom, and we had just driven up the driveway, and my mom has supported me in everything I've ever done in my life. And she turns to me, she turns off the car, and she turns to me quite seriously. And now my mother was an actress, so she's very dramatic. And she always wore hats. And she goes, Lana, dear, now that you've graduated college, what are you going to do with the rest of your life? And I was like, honestly, Mom, I just want to have fun. I want to play. No, sweetheart, you can't play for the rest of your life. You need to be serious. Life is serious. So I became serious. I went and got my MFA, my master's in fine art, in photography and related media. I became an art and a documentary photographer, had shows all over Manhattan, in New York. Eventually had shows all over the world. Then I became a photojournalist and a journalist, covered stories like the fall of the Soviet Union, saw the collapse of communism and the rise of democracy, stayed over there for a while, came on back here to the States, became a television news correspondent, lots of stories, lots of awards, lots of accolades. It was a truly beautiful, but oh, so serious career. And all the seriousness for me led to two very serious side effects. Serious side effect number one. For over 20 years of my life, I had an eating disorder. I binged, I purged, I binged, I purged, I binged and purged some more. I spent all of this time just vomiting. And inside, it was something like this. I can play, yes, I can play. No, you need to be serious. Tell them, Yadi, she needs to be serious. Umar, we need to be serious. Be serious. But I just want to play. Please, just let me play. No, you need to be serious. You guys know that? I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. I can't throw up anymore. I can't stuff my feelings down anymore. I just can't do this anymore. Please, please, just let me play, please. No, you need to be serious. Second serious side effect, breast cancer. Now, spiritually and emotionally, cancer is known as resentment. And I really resent the fact that at this age, I can't do what I want to do and I want to play. No, you need to be serious. I just want to play. Please, please. Be serious. I am dying here. My body is dying here. Please, I am dying. Please, just let me play. Please, please let me play. No, you need to be serious. Yes, breast cancer is serious. Of course it is. I was told by the doctors if I don't do chemo, radiation, and cut my breasts off, I'll be dead in 5 years. I did nothing that they told me to do because it made no sense to me. What did make sense to me was if I did not change the way I was physically, emotionally, or spiritually, I was going to die in those 5 years. I believe that I created the circumstances that supported my breast cancer. And if I created those circumstances, then I can uncreate them. And that's what I went about doing. I took my power back and I began to uncreate my breast cancer. First thing I did, day of diagnosis, I quit that eating disorder and gave myself nutrition for the first time that I can truly remember. Second thing I did, quit that glamorous yet very serious television job. I did a whole bunch of other things. But the third thing that was really, really important to me, any guesses?
Play.
Yes!
Play.
I began to hoop dance and fire dance and drum circle dance. And I'll never forget a guy at a drum circle came up to me and goes, wow, you dance as if your life depended on it. And it did. And I was playing as if my life depended on it. And at this point, my permission to play switch was halfway up. Now, the source of all of this seriousness, my beautiful angel parents. I actually don't remember playing with my dad. My mom was an actress and my dad was a theater director. So he's very serious, always doing serious plays. Very great provider, but just never, I can't remember that I played with him. But I had the honor and privilege of taking care of my father for the last 5 years of his life. And now I was in charge. So every single day we did physical therapy. We played catch, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I can't tell you how amazing and healing it is to have that memory of playing catch with my dad. And then one day, my father came up with his walker, totally out of the blue. He had this great white beard. And he said, Lotta dear, I like this plaything. I like to play with you. And what I heard, my ears and my heart, Lotta, you finally have permission to play. Yes, woo! And my permission to play switch went all the way up. I was in complete play mode. This is great. Now I need playmates, right? That's where the good old unicorn comes into play. I've been wearing this on my head every single time I walk out of my house for about 1 year and 6 months. Home Depot, Costco, the grocery store, everywhere. I'm always wearing it on my head. Now, when I walk in somewhere, people laugh, giggle, smile. But what I've been doing lately, for fun, if they say something about the unicorn, I'm like, oh, uh-oh, you triggered a 1-minute unicorn dance party. I whip out my phone, I put on a song, and we dance. And the latest one was I'm running down the street, working out, doing my run, wearing my unicorn, wearing my mask, doing all good. And this guy's honking, and I keep hearing this car honking next to me. I'm like, what's going on? Why is he honking? Finally, I look over at him and he points to the unicorn. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like, you got to dance. So he has his music on really, really loud. And I'm like, put the window down. And I'm like, you got to dance. And he's like, oh, I got to dance. So he gets out of his car. Puts his own music on. He's like, this is great. The light turned green and off he went. So that's what happens when you wear a unicorn. Now, you know I'm going to make you all dance, right? Of course, you do know that. Exactly. So, but before we actually start dancing, I'm gonna give you a quick life hack, how to get your permission to play switch up instantly, okay? So, little kids, what did they do that we really don't do anymore? Any guesses? You guys can unmute yourself. Any guesses? What do little kids do that we don't do anymore?
They don't think about what other people will think.
Okay, give me more. Okay, I'll tell you.
Play.
Jump. What?
Play.
Play, yes, but jump. Okay, I want everyone to get up right now. You got to start jumping. Let's start jumping. Get your permission to play switches up. Woo, woo, woo. Okay, so now I'm going to start the music. And here we go. Woo! All right. I gotta see you guys moving. Woo! Woo! Move when it's already know.
I don't know.
Just imagine, just imagine. Imagine yourself as a little girl as a little boy, and you have something, some dream that you want to get out into the world, some passion, some desire,
the videos,
and the world, and society, and maybe your parents are saying no, but I am saying yes, yes, follow that dream, follow that passion. Do what it is that you want to do. Woo! Play with it. Dance with it. Woo! Visualize it. Feel it. And bring it toward yourself. That's right, Umar. Bring it toward yourself. Woo! Look at what Andrew is going for. Woo! All right. Woo! Even Pando and Peggy. Woo! Cock-a-doodle-doo!
Yabba-dabba-doo!
Cock-a-doodle-doo! Woo! Just imagine. Get your imaginations going. Woo! You do this dance. Come on, you can sing too.
Imagination running wild, yeah!
Just dance. Woo! Just dance. Woo! Keep dancing. Woo! Just dance. Go, Patricia! Go, girl! Woo! Just dance. I love this. I love seeing Toasties move and Toasties groove. You're all awesome. Woo!
Papa is out of the world.
You know I could do this all day, right?
Yes, no.
I think I'm getting to my red card soon. Woo! I love that song.
Awesome.
Woo! Okay, so where are your permission to play switches now? All the way up?
Up.
All the way up? Yes.
Up.
Give me this. Come on, give me the rooster. This is the rooster. Up. Everyone's up. Woo! Hey. Little do. I'm never gonna forget that ever. Okay, so got the little do. Yes. So obviously, you guys see, play for me is serious business. That's an oxymoron, right? But play has saved my life. It healed it and it totally transformed it. So my question to you, my dear fellow toast gods and goddesses, roosters and all, what can play, fun, do for each and every one of you? Woo!
Yeah.
All right, thank
Awesome,
you. Back to you, my beautiful Peggy goddess, toast goddess. Woo! Yay! Back to you, Miss Peggy, toast goddess. I can just keep dancing. Want more music?
Okay, thank you very much, Lana, for that amazing session. I truly enjoyed myself, and for sure, I got to learn that we need to play. It will help us having fun and just being happy. You know, it helps us learn to avoid so many things in life, like getting sick and whatnot. As in, it's just amazing to see what a simple thing as just playing and having fun can do to our lives. So what I picked from your session is that you're a photojournalist, you even have a master's in photography, and you realize the seriousness of your career, the side effects of being so serious in your career. And your takeaway message for me was that we need to play, work with no play makes Lada a sad lady. So and how do we do that? We take our power back and create every other thing in our lives that has actually created some disorderliness and making you sick. So that's great, amazing. I can see our next speaker is in the meeting. So before that, I would like to, I don't know if we should proceed with the next speaker, then we can go to karaoke. So probably we can get questions from the audience with regards to your speech, Lada. Then we can proceed to the next session. So I can see we have one question from Patricia. And this is what she asks. How have you dealt with the adults who refer to your new style as being childish?
Say that again.
How have you dealt with the adults who refer to your new style as being childish? You know, like the ability to play. So that new style of yours of playing a lot.
People think that it's childish what I do, right?
Yeah.
Right. Try with that. I don't know if you guys know what Jesus said. Don't be childish, but childlike.
Mm-hmm.
We all need to be childlike. That's what people have, people have never really said anything to me. I don't really, because I think it's the energy. I think everything is energy, and it really depends on what you put out. And if being what I do, I connect to that child and that other person, and that's it. That's it. They don't judge me because there's no reason to judge me because I'm really dealing with the child in them and the child in me. So I really don't have any no one really ever said anything to you being childish. And if they did, then I just ignore them because I don't hear them. I'm vibrating up here. This is where I'm vibrating. And anyone else who's not with me is down here. So I'm here in my own little happy world here. So I don't really think that people, if they do, then they're judging themselves, not me. I went through so much, I'm going to say the word, suffering or crap or whatever, to get where I am today. I don't give a darn what anyone else thinks. I really don't. It took me a lot to get here, and no one is going to bother me at this point. I actually wear this as a tool. I actually honestly wear this as a tool. This is because I was a very much, breast cancer is known as a yes disease. You say yes to everyone and you say no to yourself. And this right here is my big old yes. And if anyone, I also was a former people pleaser. And if anyone judges me or says anything to me, like even about this, I'm like, you know what, Lotta? What you think about yourself is more important than what anyone else thinks. And I've had several instances in my life, even with my own family, where I've gotten judgments about this and about whatever. And I was very upset about something, and I got in the car, and this is something normally that I would actually binge over during those days. I would actually get upset about it. But I was like, it took me a second. I wasn't even wearing this, but it took me a second. And I was like, no, what Lotta thinks is all that matters. Lotta's awesome. So that's it. And I am awesome. So, in terms of anyone judging me, that's their problem. They're not having as much fun as I am. So, yeah. So that would be it in a nutshell. Yes, 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 and yes.
Oh, amazing. I like how you speak about fun, having fun with a lot of passion. So we have one more question from,
Umar.
Yes.
Yeah, from Umar, please.
Hi, Lara.
Hello.
Yes, Lara, I have a question for you.
You always have questions for me.
Yes, it's not a table topic question. Huh?
Oh no, he always gives me these quotes that I'm like, what?
No, this is a question. What? Take over your head. So my question is, sometimes having fun doesn't mean that you are really happy. If people having a party, going on dance or something, you are having fun, but that doesn't mean that you are doing something that you are happy about. So how you can differentiate between having fun and being actually happy?
This is a quote. How can you tell if you're having fun or is it really about being happy? It's inside. You know what? I believe that, I don't know who said that, but I'm sure many people said this, the fact that you create your own reality. It's just you and everyone else is on your stage. So if you're not happy and you know that inside it doesn't make you happy, if there's something that you're not excited about, something that you're passionate about, you'll know it. You'll know it. Just close your eyes. If you're feeling like, yeah, I can do this. This is awesome. It's with hooping. I love hooping. I so love hooping. I'm doing it because I love it. It's fun. It's really, really fun. And I'll do it no matter what. I would do it. But, I just think it's inside. I just think when you're happy when it's inside. And let me tell you, I spent years not being happy. On the outside, I looked really happy. I was like, oh yeah. And inside I was happy. And then I would go home, I would binge, I'd put a whole table of food, I'd stuff it into my mouth, and then I'd throw up. That's not happiness, right? That's not happiness at all. And until inside, I was good with me, and I was good with Lada, and I was okay with who I am and the rooster inside me. And cock-a-doodle-doo, until I found my own cock-a-doodle-doo, that made me happy. Like, I love talking, I love speaking, I love all this stuff. This all just turns me on. Yes. But as our keynote speaker said, find the cock-a-doodle-doo in you. Cock-a-doodle-doo!
Thank you very much, Lada. Your session is actually, the time is up. And yeah, so be content with yourself. Let's put ourselves first before every other person. And yeah, it doesn't matter what people think. What we think about ourselves is more important than what the opinions of others. Thank you very much. That's a very powerful speech and a very engaging Q&A. So our next speaker is Andrew. Andrew will be talking about leading with emotional intelligence. After this, we are going to sing. So I hope that all of us are just going to be, you're not going to leave the room, but let's learn how to lead with emotional intelligence. And then we are going into karaoke session. So Andrew Tsuro, leading with emotional intelligence, leading with emotional intelligence, Andrew Tsuro.
My very first job, one thing that was clear was that my boss was the fear master. In many cases, what I would always find as part of that experience was that one thing remained consistent with him. He would always make sure people felt him when you walked in the room. Every time you would walk in, what would happen is people would look at it and start thinking twice or three times before they said anything. Have you ever had a boss like that? If you have ever had a boss like that, may I see that in the chat box by you commenting, I have. And if you were one of those people, comment with, I am. If you have never experienced that, just be comfortable and say to me, not in my space. I see the chats coming on board, and bear in mind that most of these times when we experience such people, we tend to retreat and reserve our comments. In another case, I moved into another community. In this community, the very first thing when a leader walks in the room, you never anticipated that they're a leader until someone says, do you know how senior that person is? I remember walking into this community of people and we were having fun with this person who had just visited our community, only for someone to say, please refer to this person as sir. They are very senior in our organization. They are more like the CEO. I looked at that person. I looked at the person who was sharing this with me and I said, no, man, he can't be the CEO. Did you see how he was going down on the dance floor? And everyone laughed. Why? It's because leadership in the 21st century has taken a whole different turn to what it is. What kind of leader do you want to have? The first leader from my corporate world, where when everyone walks in, people take a deep breath before they think about saying something. Or do you want to be that leader who does not necessarily have the leadership title written on them, or perhaps comes and has fun? They don't even tell you that they are the CEO, yet they just make you have good times. What kind of leader would you like to be? You can guess it. It is in Toastmasters where I experienced this community of people, of leaders who did not splash their title in front of me, or even this thought of ensuring that I was considered as a miniature person who needed to fear someone. When you're leading with emotional intelligence, you're like the leader who comes in, does not necessarily put their titles, their leadership position in your face, but they make it essential for you to have fun with it, for you to be feeling included. That is leading with emotional intelligence. We know already that our world is gloomy. Our world is taken in by so many terrible things, so many horrible things, so many things that are taking us away from our true calling of having fun and enjoying ourselves. The last thing we need is someone adding onto that world. In fact, the thing that we really need is someone taking us into another realm where for a moment we can forget about the bad things, the sad things, the trauma, and we can look up and be positive again and clap along like you're in a room without a roof. Leading with emotional intelligence is about changing our world to becoming fun masters. Do you bring fun to any environment that you come into? Whether people dance when you walk into the room or they applaud because suddenly the party is about to get started. My preschool experience reminded me of what leading with emotional intelligence was. Every morning, my teacher would wake us up after a nap. In the morning, yes, we would have a nap. And then the first thing to get us going was, if you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, and you really want to show, if you're happy and you know, clap your hands. I was not the only person who found myself in that space. I remember many of us enjoyed that rhythm so much that whenever we felt tired, someone would start, if you're happy and you know, clap your hands. And that tune would play along. It wasn't just the teacher who would get us going, but it was that friend of mine who would also pick it up to raise our energies. As a leader, you're an influencer. I would love to challenge you to influence happiness. Our previous speaker spoke a lot about being childlike, being in the moment. How many of us want to encourage that? And if you're emotionally intelligent, you will learn that our world is so gloomy that we need more people to not just be Toastmasters, to just be anything but that leadership that is feared, but to be more the fun masters. Let's start a movement of fun masters who ensure that when they walk into the room, we know the party is about to get started. And this is not something that's coming from my utopia world. I mean, our founder, Dr. Ralph C. Smedley, always said to us, we learn best in moments of enjoyment. We have coined it. If it's not fun, it's not Toastmasters. So what are you doing in your small community of Toastmasters, in your small club? What are you doing to add to the fun? And when you do so, where are you taking that influence to? Because Toastmasters is where leaders are made. Toastmasters is where influencers are made. So in your own home, are you influencing fun? Do you have a fun segment in your family time? When you go to work, are you the influencer for a fun time? So that someone, somewhere, some experience, whoever is having a terrible, broken day, they can be certain that when you walk in the room, the party is about to get started. As we look into this, I want to challenge you that let us build a culture of fun. You can be right that after my first experience of this leader of ours, this manager of mine, who when he walked into the room, we thought 3 times before wanting to say something. You can be guaranteed that I didn't stay long because I want to be associated with fun. I wanted a fun environment that allowed me to be more creative, to be more innovative, to be more engaged. And that was not going to give me that. When I came into Toastmasters 6 years ago, I never looked back because I found my tribe. I found fun masters. I found people who made the time worthwhile. Just like you can make someone never look back by bringing the fun. And as a leader, it doesn't start with how are you? It starts with how are you feeling? How often do we ask that question? How are you feeling? Every time you meet someone, I want to challenge you again. Don't ask them just, how are you? Don't ask them, how are you doing? I want to challenge you to start asking them, how are you feeling? When they say to you they're feeling sad, this is your opportunity to take away that sadness and bring fun. When they are feeling dejected, depressed, it's your opportunity to fill their cup with so much happiness, with so much fun, that they too are able to overflow and pass it on. When they tell you that they're feeling sad or insecure, this is your opportunity to assure them by making sure that you create a fun environment. Be the leader that influences happiness. Be the leader that becomes the fun master in your club, that becomes the engaging person that gets everyone on board, that gets everyone engaged so that we can create a movement of happy masters, fun masters, people who create this world to be a better place just by influencing happiness. Our world has enough things that are making us sad. Our world has enough things that are taking our joy, that is frustrating us. Let's be the leaders that we want to see, the leaders that we want to walk in the room and everyone embraces them because they make us feel good. Because when you feel good, you do good. When you do good, you inspire others to do good. And let's do that. And suddenly, you make that grumpy person, that person who's feeling sad, feel as though they have an opportunity to be a part of a different space because you were there. When he was at a party, the party never died. When she was at a party, the party never died because you were there. Let our hearts be filled with fun. Let our leadership be filled with fun. Let our influence be one of fun. Madam Zoom Master, I'm going to ask you to please prepare to play a song by Pharrell Williams that goes by Happy. And as I prepare for that song, whenever you're ready, you can cut me off because we are here to have fun. If it's not fun, it is not Toastmasters. And our founder years ago told us that ours as an organization, we want it to be that organization where we learn best in moments of enjoyment. I never looked back from that corporate manager that led me. And I certainly have never left the organization where I found fun masters. Let us create that movement. Let us get going. Because if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, and you really want to show, if you're happy and you know, clap your hands. Madam Zoom Master, over to you.
Your song is ready.
Let's get going.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break.
inviting me to your Fun Master segment at your next event, because you are leading with emotional intelligence. Over to you, Madam Fun Master, aka Toastmaster.
That's so amazing, Andrew. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Please, let's all applaud Andrew for that amazing speech. Please unmute and appreciate Andrew. 1 minute. I have truly enjoyed your speech, and it has really resonated with me on a deeper level. It has reminded me of my favorite quote by Maya Angelou, which said, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." So we should all focus on making people feel good with whatever leadership style that we are practicing. So I'd like to open this session for questions. We'll have 5 minutes of interaction where people will ask questions, but I'd like to go first. So what has inspired you to be a member of Toastmasters for 6 years now?
Beautiful question. Toastmasters, over and above its public speaking skills, communication skills, leadership skills, it's the relationships. Today, I can come to Ghana and I'm certain I will never be stuck, because there's so many relationships I've built. Even without seeing some of the people, I am very certain there's a relationship that I can make use of. Anywhere across the world, it is because of that. Relationships are what brings me and many other people together, over and above the skills that we have. It is now my family. And why would I leave my family? No reason. That is what has kept me in Toastmasters for at least 6 years, and 6 years and counting.
Thank you very much. Anyone with a question for Andrew?
I can.
From the
Can
audience?
I ask? Can I ask?
Yes, go ahead, Uma.
So they say that care too much, you get hurt. Care too less, you lose them. So how sometimes you have to appear, sometimes you will be appearing cold to some people. You take a very big decision and it is, you know that it is good for everybody, but a lot of people will feel that you are cold, you are not taking care of people's emotions and all. So how we can deal with such kind of situations?
Beautiful question. And my answer to that is, start that movement. You are an influencer. And when you're an influencer, what happens is you change the world around you. And part of changing the world around you is making people feel guilty for disappointing you. Make people feel guilty for letting you down, because you're so much of a happy person. People cannot afford to take away that happiness. You are that driver. Our world is got enough gloomy people, enough critics. You want to be the change. And if you're going to do that, it starts by recognizing that the next person is hurt. And we've already heard it, that if you don't heal from what hurt you, you will bleed on those who did not hurt you. And so what you want to try and do is to make that a difference. Make your leadership style different from the next person, so that I find it easy to confide in you, and I find it difficult to let you down, to take advantage of the relationship by ensuring that I too contribute to that relationship. And it is an element of happiness. We all want a happy space. What good are you to me if you are now sad and depressed? Where will I go when I want my happy pill? And you can be that person I come to every time. So my challenge to you is create that circle, that of influence of happiness, and make it so much that they feel bad, they feel guilty when they always try to disappoint you. I hope that answers you.
Great, Andrew. So what inspired, which leader in this world inspires you to do better, and we can actually look forward to and emulate his leading with emotional intelligence, just as what you've shared this afternoon? Okay, yeah.
Thank you for that beautiful question. So I've got a number of leaders that I can take note of. One from our district, which is Southern Africa, is one called Nelson Mandela. And the one reason I love Nelson Mandela, why he inspires me a lot, is after all the 27 years he spent in prison, being frustrated, being in difficult conditions, he came out with a message of peace for all. Despite every challenge that he might have experienced, whether he was perfect or not, he spent 27 years in prison and comes out and says to the person who imprisoned him, peace for all. That to me sends a message of, if he could do it after 27 years of imprisonment, why can't you?
Okay, any other question? Okay, I have one more. So now that you mentioned Nelson Mandela, how can you encourage leaders, to keep on leading and being influencers in a world of adversity? As you can see, Nelson Mandela.
Hello everyone, I can hear the claps. Can we have them coming? The drum rolls. Can you turn on your microphone and give a round of applause, please? Toastmasters Samantha, thank you. That was also a soothing introduction, a soothing submission, a soothing topic, because you also have tilted towards the work-life balance. So I think this is something we need to take careful note of. You have so many points that I have to put out. And the first bit, remember to have fun. It's part of living a balanced life. So when last did you, I'm asking someone on the question call, the group, when last did you have fun? When last did you go for a party? When last did you unwind? So there's a lot of tension, work tension, family tension, community and country tension. But we do take some time to have fun. I believe, I really want to say thank you to DT and Patricia for putting this out, because this has been informational and helpful to me. It's been more for therapy for me, because I used to be, and I still am, I'm a tax manager. So I'm doing one thing to the next. But today I'm taking myself back and saying, okay, you know what? Let me come listen to Toastmasters, really, the program Toastmasters Want to Have Fun. And let me sit down and listen. And it's soothing how there's so much I've learned that I want to put into practice from today, from my eating lifestyle to the herbs that I need to start taking, socializing, to being calm. There's a lot. So I'm going to ask someone on the audience before I say anything. Just Samantha has given us something interesting to ponder on. What would you say is your take out from her session? I've got a few things I wrote down, but I would like to get one or two persons in the audience. Please indulge me by signifying, by raising up your hand, and I will call you up to speak. Thank you.
I believe Sabrina has her hand up. Yeah.
Yes, please. So Sabrina, let's have you speak. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Just to say thank you so much for sharing something of yourself. I really resonate with quite a bit. I think my takeaway will be this idea of tailor-making balance to suit what you need. That whole thing of we can't give 700%, that was something that really resonated with me. And I wanted to say really briefly as well, that first image with the birds on the light poles, it kind of made me start thinking, because the birds have air beneath them, like they're perched on this thing, but what's beneath them is air. And what if there's this idea that balance is still having a center, even when you don't know what else is beneath you, holding you up. So that's really what that image said to me. So just thank you very much.
Thank you, Sabrina. Actually, I didn't think about that. So I was quite curious to hear what people in the room thought about that image, but it spoke to me. I wasn't entirely sure why, but it completely spoke to me. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Do we have anyone else in the audience? I would like to touch on focus. Okay, so let's have you speak.
Thank you very much, Samantha. Samantha, I really enjoyed your presentation. What I really took away is something that you said that I think we all need to be cognitive of, and that is be in your space and have champions in that space. Avoid areas that have negative energy for you. That I thought that was extremely important, and it's good to rehear that and reflect on it again. Because when you're in an area, even on a telephone call, if someone is constantly providing negative feedback to you or questioning you, or it just doesn't set well. And I find that I have had to learn to reduce the communication with those so-called dear friends who do not champion my cause because their own insecurities that they may have. So it is important to remember to have champions in your space. The second thing that I thought that was important for me is because I'm always trying to live in different time zones. So in my African time zone, in my American time zone, and sometimes I don't get enough sleep. So I thought that was really important because when I do go to bed, I zoop and I'm in the bed, I'm sleeping 5 minutes, which is a clear indicator that I need to change my sleeping pattern. So thank you so much for that reminder.
Thank you, Regina. I appreciate your remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I'm gonna touch on one thing, and perhaps we have someone who can share it with us. When Toastmaster Samantha said, have something for yourself that is non-work related, that brings you peace. Who has or who began maybe lately? You being on this spot yourself? Are you doing something that is totally not work related, and are you having fun at it? Do we have anyone here who would like to share what that is with us?
I believe our Zoom master does.
Oh, great. So let's hear.
Yeah, maybe like what I have might not be familiar for everyone, but like what I find like what I do to make myself disconnected from what is happening around me is reading books. When I'm reading, like, even though like I have so many things to read for my classes, but I like to read books, different kind of books. It helps me like disconnect from especially social media and stuff. So I have my Facebook and my Apple book in the same dock. So anytime I want to go to Facebook, instead like I enter using my Apple book. I did that last year during Corona. I ended up reading 59 books throughout the year. I was surprised myself, but because like the time my friends uses to go on social media, I use that time to read books. So it can be a technique for everyone. If you want to use less social media, put it with an app that you want to change your habit to. For me, like I did that with my book. Instead of going to Facebook, I go to Apple book, like read my books. And that's how that's like the best time I spend throughout my day when I'm reading my book. And yeah, and I felt when she was find something that is suiting for you. And thank you once again, Toastmaster Samantha, for sharing that. And thank you, moderator, for giving me the opportunity.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I've got one more question. It's the first question on focus. I got not to you, I'm throwing to the audience. I heard someone said this, and it kind of resonated with me as well. If you were told that you should look for a clown in the room, and you walked into the room, in how many seconds would you be able to spot the clown? For me, that was focus for me, because once I get into the room, I'm looking for no one else but, hey, I want to see who this clown is. So a lot of times we get really distracted, we get really, our imaginations really run wild. But to what Toastmaster Samantha said, we need focus for clarity. It's easier for you to achieve what you want to achieve if you're focused on it. I go into Toastmasters to primarily learn, like everyone, communication and leadership. That's what I came to do. And because I was clear on that, I was on every Toastmasters meeting. I was giving my speeches, I was taking up roles, I was giving my speeches, I was taking up roles. And the more I did that, it was clearer, like, wow, you have come this far. So I want someone to focus with us. In what area, well, when did it come to you? Like an aha moment, like, hey, I've got to stop, I've got to be calm. I think I need to be focused on A, B, C, D, E. So who can share that experience with us? I believe we will learn from your own experience. So we have the floor open to anyone.
I'd like to share.
Great.
I think
let's have it.
When we join Toastmasters, when you walk in and you're introduced to your mentor, there is a clear pathway in terms of what you need to do to achieve what you want. And I like what Samantha said, that there are people who join Toastmasters to go all the way to DTM. There are people who just want to get to the level where they can communicate differently from the people who are now Toastmasters. So you can get all the skills that you want. But I think the focus is to be on exactly what you want. And it's like the life of a snake chasing a frog. When a snake is chasing a frog, it doesn't care. It can even go between your legs, not distracted, but focusing right on the goal. Have you ever looked at a cat? They look at you and they blink because they know exactly what they've set their eyes on. The eagle is the same. It's up on a tree, but it'll look at what it wants, and once it charges, it just goes. So going to the club or join Toastmasters, knowing exactly what you want and have it written down and say, these are the things that I'd like to achieve. Then surround yourself with powerful people who are going to help you move along and develop those skills. And there's no better place in the world where you've got a wonderful supportive environment that is going to help you achieve your goals free of charge at a small fee. Present yourself or make yourself available and get charged, get passionate, and move on. And that's what made me what I am. People have given me their time and space to grow under their wings. Now I can fly under the strength of my own wings because I took that opportunity. So it's all a matter of getting ready and focusing and taking the chance when it counts. Back to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone. So do we have anyone else? And then I would hand over to the chair. Is that fine? Hello, Toastmaster Patricia, do we have you here? DTM Patricia, beg your pardon.
Oh, Patricia, it's just fine. Yes, I'm here.
Great.
One more thing, if I may add, Sian, one more thing that I found very interesting is watching people. I like Samantha's analogies. You know, watching people and finding silent aha moments in people in terms of what people do. Have you ever had an experience where somebody does something stupid and you go, how can you do that? If you turned that around and say, if you're in that shoes, how would you have done it? So finding those silent aha moments can be very powerful. And that's why it is said that the best university in the world is Street University, the University of Hard Knocks, where people watch and pick ideas and apply into their lives. And I like what Stan Rapp says, he says, if you look at people around you and pick up one thing from them that would add value in your life, you'll be looking at people differently. Everybody you look at, however stupid or how unkind they are, is at least something that you can learn from. So Street University, has got a lot of things that we can learn to apply into our lives and get better and better every day.
Thank you for
Thank you.
sharing with us. Thank you, everyone. Wow. Give a round of applause to our speakers. Can we do a round of applause? Can you turn on your microphones? Let's hear drum rolls, cheer. Brilliant. Thank you, Toast DTM. Patricia, we want to say thank you for such an opportunity. Wow, thank you so much. This has been awesome. Thank you. So now we've got one thing to do. We would like everyone to turn on their video so we can do a snapshot, so we can do some type of PR that we were here, and it'll be interesting to have something like that. So we are ready. Who's gonna do the screenshot for us? Can we have that on? Oh, great.
I can do a backup as well.
Oh, great, everyone.
Anita,
so,
I don't see you. This is Masai Siaga, Nana Ama, Sena, Yasmin, Gloria, Nana Yopa, Meltem. Can we please have your videos on? Thank you. You'll be famous on social media. But anyway, it's people's choice. If they don't feel comfortable, I think then that's absolutely fine. But yes, when we're ready, I'll leave it up to you, Toastmaster Sean.
All right, so I'm gonna do a countdown, 1 to 5, 5 to 1 rather. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Yay! 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 Yay!
You want to do in some of the clubs they do a funny pose as well. So I don't know if anyone's interested in doing a very funny, weird pose.
Do so.
Oh yes, we do have a. Okay.
Can you demonstrate for us?
Or you can put on a filter, a virtual filter. We just did funny filters in sing-along. So that sounds absolutely fine. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go.
Thank you, everyone. So I believe I can hand over to the chair, right?
Well, thank you very much. I believe you've all enjoyed your room. And at this point, you still have about 10 more minutes. So whilst I quickly dash into the other rooms to grab their group photo, any member of the audience is free to share their own recipe experience or memorable shock, something you grabbed off the menu one time and got the shock of your life. You can do that. I'll share my own little story. I once went out dining with my husband and we got the menu out. He said he could promise me the chicken cream soup was going to be lovely. And I asked the waiter to describe how it would be. So she said it's going to be creamy, milky, thick, etc. And I thought chicken cream soup. I felt I had eaten a lot of chicken. I wanted to be experimental. I went for wonton soup. And she said, oh, it's got some soup around there with a few stuff in it, and you've got some vegetable stuffings, etc. It came in and I took my first spoonful. It was in my mouth for like several minutes. Apparently my husband had tried it before. He knew I would definitely not like it. but he was enjoying watching me suffer through that bowl of wonton soup.
We did.
Oopsie, I'm back. Okay. So
Patricia, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. I think the internet got me out a little bit. So to wrap it all up, he was sort of enjoying his dish and I was struggling through mine. In the end, I was able to eat all of the dumplings and I left the soup, which I felt was more like liquid with soy sauce. What that taught me was sometimes we need to give each other the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes, especially when it comes to cuisines, it is always good to go with what somebody is vouching for, or if you're still not sure, wait for them to get served first, grab a spoon and taste, and then you can place your order. Back to you, Master or Madam Moderator.
Thank you very much, Patricia. I would also want to share mine wasn't a disaster. Mine was an aha moment. So way back in London, I had a couple, and they had this soup called ogbono soup. I think it's just like the okra soup we have in Ghana, but this had a little bit twist to it. So I visited this friend and he said he was going to cook me ogbono soup and pounded yam. And I thought, no, I didn't want that, because when I checked the ogbono, I wasn't too sure if it was going to be nice or not. He prepared it, went ahead, put in a lot of meat, shaki, pomo, whatever you call it. And after he was done, he dished mine out for me. I just said, no, just give me a little, just for me to see how it would go like. And then he just served me just a little portion. I started eating this food. And guess what? By the time he was ready to have his meal, I had finished mine and I actually pulled his plate and I was eating his as well. I loved it. I loved it. So today, anytime I meet a Nigerian in Ghana, I go ahead and ask them if they can get me pounded yam and ogbono soup. and it was a banger for me. The only thing, however, is that this jollof banter will still go on. Well, I'm still a Ghanaian, so for sure. Ghanaian jollof still reigns.
Ghana jollof it is. Ghana jollof. Ghana jollof.
Don't forget the origin is really Wolof.
Sean, you can argue this out.
It's Chebizin. The real thing is Chebizin out of Senegal.
Are we having a competition of which country has the best food?
I went to Nigeria for a talk. In fact, this regalia that I have, I was given as a keynote.
Moderator Anthesia?
Now okay, if anybody has a question, I can answer. We still have some time for questions, right, Mr. Timer?
I'm here.
Okay.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Master Rania, Leila, for your presentation on emotional intelligence. That was beautiful. I cannot start my video. Host has stopped it. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Thank you so much for sharing with us that insight, the personal stories, all of that. I feel like I'm better equipped to be able to handle my emotions and not think to myself that I am all superwoman. we need to let go of our emotions so we can build on them. Thank you so much. Quickly, we will have questions. If anyone has questions for Rania, our last keynote speaker, questions, please, anyone. Just indicate and we will let you speak. Thank you to everyone who has stayed on till now. It's been a long day, but we've learned a lot and we're excited to, to be here and to keep learning. Any questions? Okay, I have one of my own. I have a question of my own. So the three triangles that you talked about, the thoughts, the emotions, and the action. Is there a way to not tilt towards one and less the other? Like, is there a way to keep it balanced? From the point when you have a thought to the emotion that you feel and to the action that you take. Is there a way to balance these three out so that they happen the way they're supposed to happen?
Yes, of course. It all starts with your thoughts. When we have these thoughts or like very negative thoughts about something or very beautiful thoughts about something, if tomorrow I will make my dream come true and I will have my job dream or I will accomplish very big achievement, this will plant or this will cause huge things or huge symptoms in your body that you feel that happiness. You will smile and all these things. You will feel happiness inside you, which influences your actions. You may dance, you may laugh out loud, you may just have this happiness, have these butterflies in your stomach. And after you just maybe behave in that way, you get more and more positive thoughts, maybe about the future, about your next goal, about your next steps, and this will influence a huge amount of great and happy emotions, which influence more of happy actions as well. It's a whole process. And we can say the same on the opposite side if you just maybe think about a very negative one. So it all starts with a thought. If we just control this thing and try to shift our focus from negativity to positivity, or from focusing on the problems to focusing on the solutions, it will work wonders. It will make your life like a magic, because all you will see is opportunities and solutions. Opportunities are solutions. We all know that life is not fair. Life is not fair, right? We admit that. But opportunities are disguised as problems. In every problem, there is an opportunity within. It's according to your focus. What you focus on, the opportunities or just the problems, and make it bigger and bigger and bigger. It's all about us. It's all about ideas or our thoughts. That will really make your life turn around. Did I answer your question? You're muted, right? You are muted.
Thank you so much, Rania. Oh Lord, I've been doing this all day today. Thank you so much for staying on to the end and sharing with us this insightful information. We hope that you will speak again whenever called upon to do so. Thank you. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you, everyone. Can we have everyone turn on their videos? For those of us who are still here, would like to take a 2-second breather just to break the ice after listening to all the speeches. You want to stand up, you stand up. You want to dance around, dance around. Just let's stand up and be easy for a bit if we want to. Ooh, DTM Patricia is here and she's got some cool shades on. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. All right. We have something special just before we turn to everyone to make their comments. Is this really a recital room if we're not doing some reading or some recital? Is it really? And if we are a recital room, are we really a recital room if we're not talking about Shakespeare, for instance? Ah, thinking. All right, we're going to do something really fun. I have a little bit of Shakespeare here, and I'm going to ask that all of us who are here unmute ourselves and take part in this reading. We will read Shakespeare's Sonnet 18, and we'll all take a line. We'll go around and we'll take another line if we have to. Are we ready for this?
We ready.
We can't have a reading room without some Shakespeare. All right then. So I'll be sharing my screen quickly, and we will read Shakespeare's Sonnet 18. Turn on your mics and let's be ready to read. Okay, so who wants to go first? Just be sure your mic is on, and after the last person has read, you read something else. Let's go. I'll start. Sonnet 18. Shall I? Oh, okay, great. Start. Anyone?
Shall I compare thee to a summer's
Shall
day?
I compare thee to a summer's day?
Thou art more lovely and more temperate.
Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May.
Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May.
And summer's leaves has all too short a date.
And summer's leaves are...
I think the time lag is playing with us here, but let's continue.
Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines.
And often is gold complexion dimmed.
And every fair from fair sometimes declines.
But by chance.
Yes, someone was reading by chance.
He got muted.
By chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. By thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou hast.
Nor shall death brag thou wonders in this shade.
When in eternal lives do time thou growest.
So long as man can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee.
Oh, a round of applause for all of us. A round of applause for all of us. Sonnet 18 is Shakespeare's one of his most popular poems. And it is interesting to know how the poem speaks about his, I don't know, his love or his affection towards this person. Thank you so much. Let it be on record. We read Shakespeare in today's meeting. Thank you so much.